What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. Today, I'll be doing my top 10 favorite NASCAR drivers of all time. So anyways, let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. My 10th favorite NASCAR driver of all time is Ryan Blaney. I've been a big fan of the Blaneys for a very, very long time, but especially Ryan Blaney since around 2012 to 2013. I've been a massive fan of his talent. Ryan Blaney's always gotten the best out of equipment, and he's also very popular with the fans as well. I like how his personality, he has a really great personality, by the way, and brings it out and brought it out when he was a lot younger driver as well. He's really great with his sponsors as well, which is a really good thing about Ryan Blaney, and I've been very supportive of Ryan Blaney for many, many years. He's a great talent in my opinion. It was amazing to see him finally win his first championship last year in 2023. And in general, he brings a lot to the table for Team Penske, and I believe that he is going to carry Penske for many years to come to more championships and more races. I think he's a great driver, and he is number 10 on my top 10 favorite NASCAR drivers of all time. In the number 9 position, my 9th favorite driver is Kyle Busch. A few years ago, I would have not put Kyle Busch even on this list because back in the day, Kyle Busch was one of my least favorite drivers. But over the course of the last 5 to 6 years, Kyle Busch went from being one of my least favorite drivers to one of my more loved drivers. Kyle Busch has been an incredible talent, which is one of the reasons why I've liked Kyle Busch for the last few years. But also another reason is because I don't give an F personality. He really doesn't care anymore, and I absolutely love it. And when he got screwed over by Joe Gibbs and that whole situation went down, I really became a bigger fan for him, and that's why I really support Kyle Busch in a big way. I want to see Kyle Busch go out and win a championship with Richard Childress Racing, which I think with the talent he has, I think he's extremely capable to do that. So I think Kyle Busch is a fantastic and amazing driver in general and overall. And again, like I said a few years ago, I would not have put it on this list, but Kyle Busch has moved up to number 9 on my list of my favorite drivers of all time. My 8th favorite NASCAR driver of all time is Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace, someone who I've been a big fan of for a very, very long time. I've been a fan of his since 2013/2014. I could see the talent and capabilities right from the get-go. He won a lot of races with Kyle Busch Motorsports in 2013 and also in 2014, and also was pretty solid with Roush in 2015/2016. And I was very excited when he won the Michigan race, when he won that number 99 truck, which was Chevy, by the way, back in 2017. When he got the opportunity to drive for Bridger Petty Motorsports, I really thought he was going to be capable of being competitive, and he really showed that with that organization and that team. And since 2023-11 Racing, he has shown what he's been capable of, and he's done a really awesome job with 23-11 Racing in the first 3 years. Got his first career win at Talladega, then he won at Kansas in 2022, and was able to get his first top 10 points finish this past year. Bubba Wallace has capabilities of getting a lot better, and he currently sits number 8 on my list. My 7th favorite NASCAR driver of all time is Dale Earnhardt Jr. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has grown on my list for a bit. Back then, he wasn't in my top 10 list, but there's a lot of reasons why I like Dale Earnhardt Jr. Number 1, Dale Jr. was a really great personality for the sport. Yes, he used to struggle when it came to public speaking, but over the years, he became one of my more favorite drivers. When he finally won some races in 2014 and 2015, including the Daytona 500, and also when he won at Michigan in 2012, I was really happy, really stoked, and extremely excited to see Dale Jr. go out there and win with Hendrick Motorsports and get back to victory lane after a long drought. You kind of root for those underdog drivers who kind of have not been able to win in a very, very long time. So I've liked Dale Jr. for many, many years. He's a great driver in my opinion, and I've liked him a lot more with this commentary. He's really outspoken about the sport, and I'd love to see Dale Jr. one day run NASCAR and really get NASCAR back up to the top tier for him, because if there was anybody in the NASCAR that could really fix the issues going on right now, it is definitely Dale Earnhardt Jr. My 6th favorite NASCAR driver of all time is Chase Elliott. I've been a fan of Chase Elliott for a very, very long time, going back to his days in the Truck Series, only back to 2013 and 2014. Obviously won that race at Mosport in 2013. Probably shouldn't have won the race the way he took out Ty Dillon, but it is what it is. I've been a fan of Chase Elliott for a very, very long time. When he won the Xfinity Series Championship in 2014 for Junior Motorsports, I was extremely pumped up and extremely excited to see him get it done. He took over the 24 car in 2016 and almost won some races as a rookie. And in 2017, when Denny Hamlin took him out at Martinsville and just completely flat out dumped him, I was extremely pissed off and really, really mad at Chase Elliott, because what he did right there was unacceptable and absolutely ridiculous that Denny Hamlin did. And the fan base was really mad. And when Chase Elliott paid back Denny Hamlin, I was very, very happy that Chase Elliott did that. And when he won his first career Cup Series race at Watkins Glen, I jumped up for joy and was extremely excited. Same in 2020 when he won the championship. Was really pumped up, got excited, and I was really happy to see him get the championship that year in 2020. In general, I've been a massive fan of Chase Elliott for many, many years. He's a great driver. He's done great things for the sport. I know that Chase Elliott doesn't have the most amazing personality, but also my dad was a massive fan of Bill Elliott back in the day as well. So, of course, he was able to support Chase Elliott a few years ago when he won the championship as well. Nonetheless, Chase Elliott is one of my favorite drivers and has brought a lot to the sport for many, many years. My fifth favorite NASCAR driver of all time is Jimmie Johnson. Jimmie Johnson is someone who I've supported for many, many years. Even my family supported him for many, many years. Obviously, one of the reasons why I became a pretty big Jimmie Johnson fan is because of the Lowe's colors. The 48 Lowe's was always iconic and brought a lot to the table. And Jimmie Johnson just was an amazing driver. I know people will say that Jimmie Johnson cheated, and some will argue he did, but Jimmie Johnson is such a very good driver. He does really good with the equipment he does have. He's an extremely talented driver and does a lot of great things and brings a lot to the table for the sport overall. And, he did a lot of great things for the sport. He's got a new organization with legacy. When he won his 7th title in 2016, I was extremely pumped up and very, very happy to see him get it done. And I just think him getting inducted in the Hall of Fame recently it shows the accomplishments that he's been able to do. It was really unfortunate to see him not make the playoffs in his final year and wasn't able to compete for a championship one last time. But Jimmie Johnson is going to always be, to me, one of the best drivers I've lived. In my opinion, the greatest driver of all time in NASCAR history because of the competition that he had to go up against over those years and the success that he was able to bring. So I've always loved Jimmie Johnson. I've had a lot of respect for Jimmie Johnson for many, many years, and he currently sits number 5 on my list. My fourth favorite NASCAR driver of all time is Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon is someone I've been a fan of for many, many years. I've been a fan of his as a driver, really all the way back to 2007 or 2008. He wasn't the first guy I rooted for, but he was one of the first guys that I rooted for because I like the number 24 car. I love the DuPont colors. The colors work very, very well. And it was extremely successful back the first year I watched the sport, which goes all the way back to 2007. And when he was able to win that final race of his career in 2015, I was extremely excited. And I go back to Texas in 2009, where he was able to go out and get his first win in 82 or 83 races. It had been a long time since Jeff Gordon had gone to victory lane, and he ended a long winless streak holding off Jimmie Johnson. I watched that race, and I was so happy to see him get that done. I've always been a big fan of his for many, many years, and he's done a lot of great things for Hendrick Motorsports and has really helped usher Hendrick Motorsports into being one of the greatest teams in the history of sport. In fact, the greatest team in the history of the sport. So Jeff Gordon is someone I've had a lot of respect for, and he currently sits number 4 on my list. My third favorite NASCAR driver of all time is Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson right now is my favorite current driver in NASCAR, but he sits number 3 on my list. Kyle Larson is someone who I've had a tremendous amount of respect for, really all the way back to 2012. I became a pretty big and massive Kyle Larson fan all the way back in the year 2012 at Homestead Miami Speedway in that truck race when he drove, I think it was for Turner Scott Motorsports, and was able to go out there and put up a really impressive clinic. Should have won that race, had some issues with Ty Dillon in that race. Then he got the opportunity with Turner in 2013. Did very well. Didn't win a race, but he won the Rookie of the Year honors, if I'm not mistaken. Then in 2014, went to Cup. Had some very strong performances. Should have won a few races in 2014. When he went into Hendrick Motorsports and won his first title in 2021, that was probably the most excited I've been as a NASCAR fan. Because Kyle Larson winning that championship, doing everything he accomplished that year, winning all those dirt races, finally win the championship, it made me very happy and very excited and was the most deserving champion NASCAR had since probably Martin Truex Jr. in 2017. So to see him finally win the championship was absolutely phenomenal and incredible, and that's why I'm a massive and huge fan of Kyle Larson. My second favorite NASCAR driver of all time is Carl Edwards. Carl Edwards is someone who, of course, is from my home state, which is Missouri, which is definitely one of the big reasons why I have supported Carl Edwards for many years. But the other reason I really supported Carl Edwards is because Carl Edwards was just an overall amazing driver. When I came into sport in 07, he was having a pretty big career resurgence at the time where he got multiple wins at the end of the year. Of course, he won at Bristol, and then, of course, I think he won at Michigan that year as well, and also won at Dover International Speedway. And then in 2008, he won 9 races but came up short of winning the championship, which definitely really sucked. And then in 2011, when him and Tony Stewart went in battle for the championship, it was a year I could not lose because either he was going to win the championship or Tony Stewart was going to win the championship, and I was going to be very happy regardless if he won the championship or not that season. I really, really love Carl Edwards as a race car driver. He's got a great personality. I really, to this day, still wish Carl Edwards was still racing, and I really hope one day he does come back to bring some closure to fans. And if he does ever, in fact, make a return to this sport, I'm going to be very happy and really excited about it. So I hope one day he can come back to bring closure to sport, whether it's doing commentary or whether it's doing racing. I would love to see Carl Edwards make a return and a comeback into NASCAR. And my favorite NASCAR driver of all time is Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart was the first driver I really ever rooted for when I became a fan of this sport. He came from the dirt scene. He was a big fan of RC cars back in the day. And Tony Stewart was just overall a great personality and a fantastic driver. And I've been supportive of Tony Stewart even after he retired from the sport. What happened in 2014 was a load of crap overall. 2013 when he got injured. And of course, when he won the championship in 2011, I was extremely pumped up and excited. I already mentioned this with him and Carl Edwards going up against each other. It was a year I could not lose. But you think about what he accomplished in 2011. He was able to go out there and win 5 races in the playoffs and won the championship that year, which is an incredible accomplishment. And I remember him saying that year we didn't even deserve to be in the chase. Goes out and dominates in 2011. He's a driver that was a true American badass, true race car driver, and a true talent in this sport. And to this day, still can provide those really amazing quotes and is still a big asset to the sport this day with Stewart-Haas Racing. Which when Tony Stewart opened that team, they became my favorite organization because I always loved Stewart-Haas Racing and what they were able to accomplish back in the day. Bringing Kevin Harvick in, Tony and Kevin winning championships over at that team. Tony Stewart has brought a lot to the table, brought a lot of accomplishments over, and I think that Tony Stewart for sure is my favorite NASCAR driver because of everything he's been able to accomplish and what he was able to do as being one of the best all-around talents in the history of the sport, and still to this day, winning races. So, those are my 10 favorite NASCAR drivers of all time. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Links description below that, and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. Who are your favorite NASCAR drivers of all time? Let me know them in the comments below. I got a lot of great content dropping this weekend that I cannot wait for you guys to check out. Make sure to follow me on my social medias, and you will see some NASCAR news content as we're getting close to the start of the season. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.